best friend confessed to dating my fiancé behind my back for months. But when I confronted them together, they claimed I was overreacting, until I found hidden texts proving they planned to get married using money I saved for our wedding. I'm 27, and I thought I had my life set. My name is Marissa. I live in Colorado now but grew up in a small town in Oklahoma. The kind of town where everyone knows your business before you do. I've always been the anxious one in my family, the overthinker who breaks down every decision. But when I met Liam, 29, it was like, for the first time in my life, I didn't have to overthink. He was grounded, unflappable, the kind of man who left you thinking that something awful couldn't possibly happen if he was around. We started dating 3 years ago, and to be honest with you, I thought he was the one. We got engaged on December, prior to Christmas, and I phoned my best friend, Karina, the instant it occurred. She's 28, we've been together since we were 15, and she cried on the phone with me, telling me how happy she was, how excited she was to stand beside me on my wedding day. She was going to be my bridesmaid, my maid of honor. She was the person I shared everything with. My secrets, my fears, even my wedding savings account, which, stupidly, I sometimes wrote notes on in the group Google Doc she had for planning. And maybe that's why what follows is so worse. A couple of months back, Karina showed up at my apartment unexpectedly, having gone without sleep for days. Her eyes were puffy, her hair was mussed, and she just blurted, "I have something to tell you." My stomach fell before she told me, like I knew something about my life was going to be destroyed. And then she told me that she and Liam had been seeing each other. Those were her words, seeing each other. She informed me it started off little, a few messages, then booze when I was out of the house visiting my mom, then more. She wept and said she hated herself, that she did not want to ruin our friendship, but she could not take the guilt anymore. I recall sitting there, frozen, because it felt like my brain was not going to allow the words in. My best friend, my fiancé, months. I couldn't even bawl at first. I just looked at her, and then all I could get out was, "You're lying." She assured me that she wasn't. She begged me to trust her. So I said to stay right where she was, and I phoned Liam, told him to hurry over. It was an emergency. When he walked in, Karina's face was red and tear-stained, and I was expecting him to be ashamed or at least guilty. But instead, he appeared annoyed, like I had inconvenienced him. I relayed to him what Karina said, and he laughed. He actually laughed and said, "You're overreacting again, Marissa. You always exaggerate things." And Karina, my so-called best friend, just sat there shaking her head, backing away, saying maybe she had been exaggerating, maybe she was confused about what it was, maybe I was misinterpreting. And I started doubting myself for a second, wondering if I'd lost my mind, if I was being hysterical. That's how much I trusted them. But something in my gut wouldn't let me drop it. That night, after both of them had left, I couldn't sleep. I just kept thinking about their faces in my head, the way Liam dismissed me, the way Karina had shifted like she hadn't just confessed to betraying me. So I did something I've never done before. I went through Liam's phone. I know it's not proper. I know it puts me no higher than they were in some respects, but I had to know. I found a hidden folder in his messages, and inside of that were months' worth of texts between him and Karina. Not flirting, not seeing one another. They were planning on a future with each other, discussing how much I had saved up for the wedding, how they could steer it, when I surely ended things, how they would never have to begin from scratch again because, as Liam so perfectly put it, Marissa already did all the hard work. My hands shook so violently I could barely grip the phone. They weren't just cheating. They were constructing their life upon mine, taking everything I had labored to achieve. The following morning, I brought them up on charges once more, this time together, with screenshots printed out and spread upon the table like exhibits in a trial. And when they knew they couldn't gaslight me anymore, they didn't even say sorry. Liam just said, "Well, I guess you know now," and Karina grumbled something at me, not being able to handle the truth. I barely remember what I screamed at them, but I remember my throat hurting for days afterward. It's 30 days now, and I still feel as though I'm shuffling around in the debris of a life that I thought was real. I vacated the apartment, canceled the venue, withdrew every penny I had from the savings account, and blocked them both. But in the wee hours of the night, when I'm wide awake, I still hear their voices. I still see the look on their faces when they realize that I knew. People always talk about heartbreak as if it's just sadness, but it's not. It's shame, rage, shock, and this crushing grief for the life you can't ever get back. And maybe someday I'll forgive me for not knowing it sooner, for letting both of them make me believe I was crazy when I was completely sane. But until then, all I can do is begin again, rock by rock without them. And the worst part, the part that still makes me sick, is knowing that the two human beings I trusted most in the world didn't only hurt me, they plotted to do it. And that makes me think differently about everything, about how I will ever be able to trust anyone else again.